And hey, Bastianini, credit to the Italian on the 2-year-old Ducati's closing on the tail of Brad Binder in the battle for 8th. Here is Marc Marquez then with 5 laps to go. On that last lap, for the first time, Bagnaia was quicker than Jorge Martin, so the gap down to 1.8.
4 seconds now. Marc Marquez leads over Fabio Quartararo. It's been a one-man demolition job, hasn't it? Right from those laps 6 and 7, they were the 2 crucial laps, successive fastest laps of the Grand Prix. That's when he made the crucial break from Fabio Quartararo, and from that point onwards he's not looked back, and he's just been able to comfortably stretch out his advantage. He knew as well, didn't he, that by putting that early pressure on Fabio Quartararo, it was unlikely that Quartararo was going to take any significant risk to try and chase him and go with him. It was obvious that Marquez had the better pace, and Quartararo would eventually lock down into championship mode.
Simon, your thoughts and observations at this stage with 5 to go?
Yeah, my thoughts are that I reckon from about 2 laps ago, you know, from now they'll be suffering. I'm talking gritting their teeth, pretty much everyone out there, and it's also the stage of the race where it's easier to make a mistake. So I've got my fingers crossed that doesn't happen, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's so hot. Thank you very much for that, Simon. You make a very good point there, and there are going to be 1 or 2 that suffer. Keep your eyes on this battle between Martin and Bagnaia. Bagnaia on this lap has cut the gap down by 3 or 4 tenths, so Bagnaia smells a podium here to try and salvage something from the poor start he made to the race.
Yeah, we wonder whether Jorge Martin might tire and fatigue towards the end of this Grand Prix, particularly given the fact that it's a really physically demanding circuit, and we know how tough Jorge Martin has found it in a couple of big battles of late with his recovering body, but at the moment still resisting. 1.4 seconds through sector 3 as the Pramac Ducati team look on. There's Francesco Guidotti's crew chief Daniele Romagnoli. He has a good long look at his pit board, and he'll see now the gap 1.3 seconds back to Bagnaia, who's got time. 4 laps to go. What was the difference in lap time between the 2 of them? Yeah, half a second Bagnaia found on that lap 16. This one's not over for the final place on the podium.
Now Bastianini has made up a spot. He's gone past Brad Binder. He's into 8th, the Italian. Excellent work from him, from 16th on the grid, and there's a big mistake there.
For Martin,
what's happened?
Jorge Martin
is under pressure now, and he's made a mistake, and the gap then comes right down to just a few tenths between himself and Bagnaia in the fight for 3rd.
Is he tiring now then, Jorge Martin, at this crucial late stage of the race? Simon?
I think definitely, Matt. I honestly can't believe that a rookie's turned up to probably the most physical, I'd say definitely the most physical track on the calendar, and done as well as he has so far to now. But I'm sure he is extra suffering, because as a rookie you use less of the machine, you use more of your body to do the job. You know, you haven't got the experience to make the machine do it. And yeah, truly amazing job, but I really think he's suffering.
Yeah, he is suffering. You can kind of see from the body language on the motorcycle. Pecco Bagnaia, I think, is going to make light work of this ultimately. Jorge Martin, a valiant effort from the rookie on the Pramac Ducati.
Has he got some kind of problem? There's a couple of times there where it seemed like he was looking down at the dash. Hopefully not for Jorge Martin's sake, because he's ridden an absolutely sensational race, but now he's under immense pressure from Pecco, and Pecco Bagnaia knows that these are significant World Championship points at stake.
He is definitely tiring, Jorge Martin. He's struggling a little bit. You wonder whether or not he's suffering a bit of arm pump in the latter stages of this race.
Well, the team, didn't they, said pre-race, Steve, that he's still not fully recovered his peak physical best from that massive crash he had in FP3 in Portimao. I mean, if he can hang on here, this would be one of the rides of the season from Jorge Martin.
I wonder if he'll get a whisper from the powers that be at Ducati, given the state of the championship. Just a thought.
I don't think they're going to intervene. It's every man for himself, isn't it? Jack Miller didn't have the pace, that's why he was able to let Pecco Bagnaia through. Now, where does Bagnaia pick his moment? Because at the moment it looks like it's going to be inevitable. He's going to snatch his 3rd place away from Jorge Martin. Not close enough as they come back towards the end of this 2nd sector.
Bagnaia trying to limit the damage, and he's been given a long lap penalty for the shortcuts at turns 4 and 5. Just to add insult to injury, he's been defending this third place valiantly, but now he's got a long lap penalty and it's immaterial. Pecco Bagnaia is going to take third.
Oh, that's so cruel, but the rules of course, yeah. The big runoff through turns 4 and 5. I wonder what caused the runoff, whether he just tired and just didn't have the energy to change direction, or whether he just had a big bump and it picks him off the circuit. Oh, poor old Jorge Martin, a long lap penalty coming his way. That's maybe
Pecco Bagnaia goes through, he's into third.
Guys, it's not actually the cut, is it, that they get penalised for? It's for not losing enough time through that when you do cut it.
Well, sadly, that penalty loop for Jorge Martin might do further damage to him, because it could well allow Rins and Miller to get by him as well. Pecco Bagnaia then limits the damage being done to him by the championship leader Fabio Quartararo. He moves into third place.
So he's only going to be losing 4 points to Fabio Quartararo in the championship battle, but 4 points that he can ill afford to surrender to the Frenchman, as we're coming up now to the back end of this Austin Grand Prix. Marc Marquez has long gone into the distance. He's starting his 19th lap of 20 with a 4.2 second advantage over Fabio Quartararo.
Yeah, it's been an outstanding ride from Marc Marquez, more than solid effort from Fabio Quartararo. Pecco Bagnaia disappointing in many ways, having started from pole. Further back, Martin then is fourth. He's got to take a long lap penalty. Rins is fifth, Miller sixth, Mir seventh. Mir is being caught by Enea Bastianini, who's lapping very well. Oh yeah, there was a big front end moment. That's why he had to sit up and go straight on.
Yeah, that's what picks him off the circuit then into turn number 5, and that's what's going to cost, unfortunately, Jorge Martin the podium. You could argue that he didn't really deserve that. I mean, just that one tiny little mistake is going to cost him so big here in Austin.
The King of Kota is going to take his crown back here. There's 2 laps left. Further back, Bastianini is right on the tail of both Jack Miller and Joan Mir. There is a 6th place on the cards for Enea Bastianini as a rookie on a 2-year-old Ducati.
Super impressive again by Enea Bastianini. He started this race down in 16th place. Better qualifying, you think that he might have been potentially fighting for the podium again, because he's doing mid 205s. He's running the same pace as Fabio Quartararo and Marc Marquez at the moment.
There you can see in the background Bastianini. Another few laps and he'd be well on course for a top 4 or 5. Martin still hasn't taken his long lap penalty. Has to be careful, because there'll be further penalties to come.
That's the thing, isn't it? He could be losing more points here.
So then, we're about to start the final lap. Marc Marquez has been imperious here. Pramac Ducati are keeping an eye on things, but he's not going to be getting on the podium, I'm afraid, Jorge Martin, by the looks of things. Just 5.5 kilometres left for Marc Marquez.
Yeah, and it has been a one-man demolition job. It's been an exhibition like we've seen so many times here in Kota for Marc Marquez. It is going to be a magnificent 7 wins in cowboy country for this man. The crucial moment, lap 6 and 7, as we said, when he really got his head down, got that hammer down, and was able to break the gap to Fabio Quartararo to over a second. Quartararo looks like he's going to take 20 impressively precious points for the championship, and Pecco Bagnaia is going to rescue third. Not what he wanted. I don't think we're going to see too many men more disappointed with the third place than Pecco Bagnaia post-race.
So often we've shown up here in Austin, Marc Marquez has stretched his legs and no one can get close to him to lay a finger on him, and it's the same story here today. A brilliant performance from Marc Marquez, and on his return from injury in what has been the most unbelievable and emotional year, his return to action, it's win number 2 coming the way of Marc Marquez.
Yeah, win number 84 in his career. You can hear the American fans. They've appreciated this ride from Marc Marquez. It's been absolutely awesome. He is going to conquer Kota for the 7th time in 8 visits.
Just the final sector left then for Marc Marquez now, in front of the grandstand. He can cruise home to victory. The long lap penalty finally has been taken by Jorge Martin, and unfortunately he's lost a place to Alex Rins. A great effort from Jorge Martin. Doesn't really deserve that.
No, what a race by Jorge Martin, but what a race by this man. He's going to reclaim the crown. He's back on the throne as the King of Kota, surely.
7 wins in 8 visits. The King of Kota is back on his throne. Captain America is back.